What's up everyone, welcome back. This is kind of an Ask Dan Anything rant. I've received a couple of emails from guys asking about what they should do with women, because they're from guys who have very little experience with relationships, dating, sex. Guys who are either they're virgins or they've never had like a proper girlfriend, or the relationships they have been very kind of bizarre and not really of any substance, and guys just in general who see girls as like this alien species, and really struggle to connect with them, and find themselves often like overwhelmed with anxiety just talking to a girl. They've never really maintained healthy friendships with women, perhaps, or very rarely. They'll be in what's called the friend zone, which isn't really a friendship at all. It's just a kind of hidden attraction for someone. You pretend to be their friend when really you want more. This video is just for those guys, or guys close to that end of the kind of spectrum of social skills. I've been talking about this with Mike and Dave, who are the other coaches in Brojo. And we come to a realization that we may have actually been putting some guys on the wrong track by mistake. What's come up is that there are a lot of guys out there who essentially are trying to run before they walk, or walk before they crawl. There are guys out there who are going and getting into the dating scene, or trying to, using the advice and resources that we have in Brojo to go and meet new women and try to build their romantic life. And yet these same guys have never really had a real friendship with a woman, or at least a kind of struggle to connect with women in general, and may even not have friends at all. One of the reasons we set up Brojo is because we realize there's a lot of dudes out there who don't have friends, and they don't know where to get started with this. They've either moved city or been left behind in terms of social skills, or role modeling or support as they're growing up, and they just don't know where to start. For guys in this category to then be trying to go up to women they're attracted to and be open and honest about the attraction and be really bold, it's a huge, overwhelming leap. And even when you do it right, even when you go up and you apply the principles of honesty, it's not going to work. And the reason it's not going to work is because your beliefs and your mindset are really holding you back without you even being able to see how they're holding you back. And I feel for you. Most of us in Brojo have been through this transition. I'm often steering guys away from the whole pickup scene because I think it's so sort of manipulative and it's like a backward step. But I also have to give recognition to a transition I made when I was into that stuff. It wasn't so much about getting good with women in a manipulative way. It was just about learning to talk to women. It was actually during that period of time where I first developed real friendships with women and with new men. And I just learned how to talk to people and just connect with them. And I think that this is a critical step that a lot of guys are skipping over. They're so desperate, they're so sure that having a girlfriend, having a relationship, having sex is going to make them, love themselves. And they're so wrong about that. Fact is, if you're all fucked up about connection and women and love and sex, and then you get into a relationship, that relationship's going to be fucked up. You're going to bring it crashing down and you won't even know how you did it. All your old nice guy stuff will come up, all your insecurities about abandonment and everything will come up. You'll lose friends because you become isolated on the girl. It'll do more harm than good for you to get into a relationship when you're not ready for one yet. And a lot of people out there are getting into relationships and they're not ready for one. They're not psychologically prepared for it. It's like going into a 10 out of 10 socially and you've only been trained to a 3 out of 10. You're way out of your depth. You're fighting with a black belt kind of thing. You're way out of your depth. And it will actually, your progress in this whole area will go a lot faster if you actually dial it back and come to the level that you're at and work at that level. There's a couple of reasons for this. One is you will be much more able to maintain a loving relationship or sexual relationships with women if you're comfortable with women as a group, where you don't see them as different or special or scary anymore. So that's one reason. Another is, if you don't know how to connect with people, and you're not at that place where you feel sure of your ability to connect with people, you're going to become very needy in relationships. This person will be your only source of love, kind of thing, and that will destroy and erode the relationship. All the nice guy or manipulative stuff will come up. And there's a whole bunch of other reasons. But also, the very fact that you're looking for a relationship makes it far less likely to happen, because you just bring so much neediness and desperation into your search. And you're missing out on potential friendships and great connections and fun and love. There's so many guys I've spoken to who are desperately looking for a relationship, and then when they just chill out and just hang with some friends or make some new friends without any focus or pressure on themselves to find a loving partner or to get laid or whatever, they feel that sense of connection. The loneliness goes away. They're not so desperate anymore, and that enables them to actually connect. So what am I saying in this video? If you find that going up to women fills you with anxiety, talking about attraction and sex with women is something that makes you almost panic, and it seems something you take very seriously, you can't have fun with it, you're all like strategy and mechanics, and you look at women as this kind of overwhelming, intimidating species rather than just another human. If you're at that level, and you'll know you're at that level because socializing is a chore for you, it's exhausting, you're not enjoying it, and you feel like there's a huge failure rate, whatever you define as failure. If you're in that place, you're trying to run before you can walk, and you need to come back to walking. It will feel like a step backwards when it's really something that will help you step forwards. If you can go back to going, you know what, I'm not going to try and date anyone for a whole year. I'm not going to try and get a girlfriend anymore. In fact, I give myself permission to be completely single by choice for 1 or 2 years, at least, until I sort my shit out. I advocate this because I did this myself. I realized, when I really dug into my nice guy syndrome after my big pickup phase and everything, I realized, man, I am fucked up about women. My belief system around women and relationships is a mess. And I can't in good faith bring that into a woman's life. I might be able to manipulate one to get into a relationship with me, but it'd be so unfair of me to then bring all that baggage into her life. And in fact, if she's attracted to me while I'm like this, odds are she's probably fucked up too. And I don't want that kind of woman in my life. I had to get my shit sorted, and the only way I could get my shit sorted was to take all the pressure off, all this need to succeed with women pressure, this kind of what John Cooper calls acquisition mindset, trying to get women. I had to release myself from that goal and realize simply having that goal prevented me from achieving it. What I dialed back to was just connection. Some of the best dates I ever had were when I knew I wasn't going to see the girl again, when she was flying overseas the next day, or during the date we realized for some logistical reason we couldn't take it any further. All the pressure would come off because there's no future. I can't make something happen with this girl, and that's when I could actually connect. When I lived with girls, where they were my flatmates, beautiful, attractive girls, but they were just friends. I couldn't take it any further with them. I didn't even want to really take it further with them because I lived with them, and I got to know them as people. I got to see that their shit stinks just like me. They have the same problems I do. They have the same joys and pleasures that I do. I could see them as being like me. I could connect with them, build friendships. And socializing became fun again. I could go out and there's no goal that has to be achieved. I could just be there. If I felt like sitting in the corner and not talking to anyone, I could. If I felt like going up to someone and being flirty with them, I could. I didn't have to make that work. It didn't have to go well. And this counterintuitively actually helped me progress socially. I met my current girlfriend. I love her my life. She's brilliant. But I met her during a phase of my life when I said, you know what? No girlfriends. I'm just going to connect with people I'm going to ask them if they want to see me again. If not, so be it. If they do, great. I'm just going to practice talking to people, practice being honest, practice being courageous, just to develop myself, just to figure out these beliefs and get over my bullshit. So I really encourage you, if you feel like you're in that category of guy who really struggles with women, who sees them as like a competitive hurdle to overcome, something, a painful source of pain, rather than, you know, an easygoing, pleasurable, fun, exciting interaction, you know, then it's time for you to dial it back. You need to learn how to overcome all these fucked up beliefs you have first, and that will happen a lot quicker if you don't try and skip the step where you overcome them. I hope you can take my advice on this. You know, it's something that's only just become clear to me. I've been coaching all these guys to go out and meet women and be bold and honest, and yet because they're so needy and still so have all those beliefs like I used to have, it's going to be slow progress. But once they learn just how to be friends with people and how to see them as humans and how to connect with all people without any goal, without trying to get anything, then relationships become really easy, and by the time they do become easy, you don't even need one anymore. You can just have it if you feel like it, but you don't need it to love yourself anymore. So I hope you can hear me if you're in that space. Slow down to speed up. I promise you, it's going to be more effective than what you're probably trying right now, which is just high pressure, high stress, no fun, no enjoyment, no real connection. Hope that helps. Email me dan@brojo.co.nz with your feedback or questions. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll catch you all later. Peace.